Episode 60, A Little Hand Under the Table. Resisting Temptation. Bro. Big bro. You have to tell me honestly, did you teach little bun this trick? Did you plan from the beginning and wait for this moment to strike back? Damn it. If you had a plan, at least let me know beforehand. I was scared out of my wits just now. Lu Jingli wiped the sweat from his forehead, looking terrified. Lu Tingxiao glanced at his younger brother, who was indeed on the verge of collapsing from fright. He seldom explained himself but decided to make an exception this time. Your face can't hide things. If Dad finds out that little Bun did this under instruction, he'll be even more disgusted with Ningxi. My face really can't hide things? Lu Jingli said with tears streaming down his face. Even the way he tricked him was so reasonable, he couldn't argue against it. However, after the crisis was averted, Lu Jingli quickly revived and excitedly exclaimed, Bro, did you see Dad and Mom's expressions just now? It was hilarious. Dad was clearly overjoyed, yet he pretended to be calm. Grandma directly grabbed Ningxi's hand and ran off, just like a bandit. Little Shishi was completely dumbfounded at the time. Recalling Ningxi's expression at that moment, Lu Jingli felt much more at ease. At least there was someone as confused as him. In the vintage-style living room, a long dining table was filled with a variety of foods. Despite it being just breakfast, the spread was more like a feast. Finally, Ningxi, feeling dazed, sat down at the dining table. On the opposite side were Lu Grandma, Little Bun, and Lu Grandpa. On Ningxi's side were Lu Jingli, herself, and Lu Tingxiao. Unable to resist, Ningxi had to take the initiative to speak and try to save herself. Thank you very much for the invitation, but I've already eaten. In other words, I've already eaten. Please let me go. She was also under immense pressure, with the big boss on her left and his parents on the right. You've eaten already? Then, has Little Bun eaten? Lu Grandma immediately asked. Yes. Ningxi cautiously replied, keeping her words brief. What did Little Bun eat earlier? He had a big bowl of wonton soup and a few xiaolong bao. Oh, that's quite a lot. Lu Grandma nodded and then asked with concern, did he vomit? Lu Grandpa also looked serious. Ningxi shook her head. No, he didn't. Both elders sighed in relief. Then, see if there's anything you like. Just try a little bit. Lu Grandma said, personally serving Ningxi a small plate of lemon-fried fish fillet. Feeling obligated, Ningxi could only express her thanks with a stiff smile. At this moment, Lu Chongshan cleared his throat and gave his wife a meaningful look. Understanding immediately, Lu Grandma spoke up, Miss Ning, I heard you took our Little Bun out to play last night? Finally, the moment arrived. Ningxi immediately tensed. I'm sorry, I didn't. Ningxi was about to admit that she had taken Little Bun out without their consent when her left hand, which had been placed on her knee, was suddenly covered by a warm palm. It gently squeezed her hand as if it was a signal and a reminder. Because it happened so suddenly, Ningxi was scared, like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. She almost jumped up, and the food in her throat caused her to cough violently. Cough, cough, cough. It seemed that the one secretly holding hands with the girl wasn't him. Lu Tingxiao calmly poured her a glass of water and then smoothly brought it to her lips. Ningxi didn't dare to drink water directly from the big boss's hand in front of everyone's eyes. She quickly brought the glass to her lips and took a big gulp. She had a bad habit. When nervous, she couldn't help but keep pouring things into her stomach. Seeing the subtle interaction between her son and the girl, Lu Grandma, being the mother, naturally knew what had happened in front of everyone's eyes. However, she couldn't believe that her wooden-headed elder son would do something like teasing a girl. What was this feeling of finally getting the pig that had been raised for many years to nibble the cabbage? At this moment, Lu Tingxiao's hand had not been removed yet. Instead, he flipped Ningxi's sweaty palm and wrote a character "me" in her hand. Recognizing the character, Ningxi instantly understood Lu Tingxiao's intention. The big boss wanted her not to admit anything but to push all the blame onto him. But would it be okay to do that? While Ningxi was hesitating, Lu Tingxiao had already started using his slightly rough fingertips to tickle the softest and most sensitive part of her palm. That ambiguous touch felt like it was directly touching her heart. Ningxi dared not hesitate anymore and quickly said in one breath, last night, Mr. Lu suddenly called me, saying that Little Bun hasn't been in good condition lately. He hoped I could accompany him, take him out to relax, so I rushed over overnight. Hearing Ningxi say this, both elders looked displeased and gave their eldest son a stern look. Then, their expressions towards Ningxi visibly softened. Especially Lu Chongshan. Initially, he thought this woman, relying on his elder son's favor, dared to go against him on purpose. Knowing that everything was his eldest son's unilateral decision, and she didn't know they strictly prohibited her from seeing little Bun, the anger in his heart naturally diminished a lot. Lu Grandma showed an "I knew it" expression. She then asked the question she cared about the most, "I wonder where Miss Ning took little Bun to relax? And how did you relax?" To be able to make little Bun, who was depressed just the day before, suddenly smile so happily and actively approach them. If they could know the secret, wouldn't they be able to get kisses from their precious grandson every day? Lu Chongshan immediately put down his chopsticks, his expression devout as if he wanted to take out a notebook and write it down. Lu Jingli, watching his parents' reactions, had been holding back his laughter. He thought it was useless even if they knew. The key point was not where she took little Bun to relax or how they relaxed. It was about Ningxi herself. Facing the eager gaze of the two elders, Ningxi couldn't say that she took little Bun out for a high-speed drive, something that would surely get her killed if she said it. So, she coughed lightly and replied, "Actually, we didn't go anywhere. I just drove little Bun around the capital." She didn't lie. Indeed, she went for a drive, but it wasn't an ordinary car. It was a professional racing motorcycle known as the Midnight Fury. After hearing this plain response, the two elders were visibly disappointed. Just going out for a drive, could it make little Bun, who had never liked people approaching him since birth, willingly approach his grandparents? However, these seemingly very simple things, just thinking about them, the fact that she could make little Bun willingly leave the house, play with her happily for a whole night. Except for Ningxi, no one else could do it. Including the psychologist Qin Mufeng, who had been studying little Bun's condition for many years, what he could do at the moment was very limited. Before, they thought that little Bun could recover to simple communication using words, which they considered the ultimate. But the two kisses today shocked and pleasantly surprised them deeply. It turned out that there was still hope for little Bun to continue to recover, and he might even become like an ordinary child one day, laughing openly, being close to his family, and maybe even speaking. And the key to all of this lay with the woman whom they initially thought might harm little Bun. So, the elders' attitude went from initially being strongly against it to the current dilemma. Lu Chongshan looked affectionately at his grandson beside him. Little Bun had just kissed him, and it really made him willing to exchange anything for that. Until now, Lu Chongshan had been silent, leaving the inquiries to Lu Grandma. Finally, he couldn't help but speak up, "As far as I know, Miss Ning's current profession is an actress?" Ningxi nodded, yes. The conversation had come to this point, and Ningxi became indifferent. The Lu family's influence was indeed formidable, but she had no intention of coveting anything from the Lu family. She certainly wouldn't become his daughter-in-law. There was no need to fear them. "I wonder how much Miss Ning earns now?" Lu Chongshan asked again. Hearing this question, Ningxi was a bit puzzled. What did the old man mean by asking her this? However, Lu Jingli and Lu Tingxiao on the side were clear about their dad's intentions. They immediately understood what the old man was up to. Even though Ningxi couldn't figure out Lu Chongshan's intentions, she answered truthfully, "My career has just started, and my income is not high. This current role is from my old agency. After deducting the company's share, I get 50,000. Lu Chongshan nodded and continued to ask, "So, Miss Ning, are you interested in changing careers?" "Change careers?" Ningxi frowned. "Yes, I would like to invite Miss Ning to come to the Lu family and be little Bun's private tutor. As for the price, it will definitely satisfy you. I can guarantee that the highest paid artist in the entertainment industry at the moment will not have an income as high as yours in this profession," Lu Chongshan said confidently. Because he was confident that with such conditions, no one would be foolish enough to refuse. She entered the entertainment industry for what? Wasn't it because the entertainment industry made money quickly? So, he directly offered her a shortcut to success. He didn't believe she could resist such temptation. Hearing Lu Chongshan's words, Ningxi pulled the corners of her mouth and a trace of imperceptible pride and disdain appeared in her eyes. Because he was Lu Tingxiao and Lu Jingli's father, little Bun's grandfather, she didn't say anything too harsh. Instead, she replied as gently as possible, "I'm sorry, Mr. Lu, everyone has their own aspirations." She didn't want to say anything extra. The disparity in rank and class between the two sides was too great. Even if she said more, he wouldn't understand. Ningxi's response obviously completely exceeded his expectations. Lu Chongshan's face immediately became displeased, and he said in a deep voice, "Miss Ning, are you finding my conditions insufficient?" Ningxi said, "Mr. Lu, that's not what I meant. If your intention is for me to spend more time with little Bun, I can come often to accompany him, as a friend." "So, you're rejecting me?" Lu Chongshan's face instantly darkened to the extreme. Whether it was because Lu Tingxiao was by her side or not, under the terrifying pressure from old Master Lu, Ningxi still managed to stand firm and said, "Yes. How dare you?" After all, Lu Chongshan had been in a high position for a long time, used to everyone obeying him. How could he tolerate a small artist like Ningxi defying his wishes? So, he erupted. Lu Tingxiao didn't say anything but silently placed his arm on the back of the chair behind Ningxi, completely expressing his protective stance. As Lu Tingxiao's breath approached her, Ningxi's tense back suddenly relaxed a bit due to nervousness. In the tense atmosphere, in the corner, the backup, little Prince Lu Jingli, finally couldn't help himself. "Dad, what about your logic? As long as little sis-in-law says, 'Yes I do,' to my brother, the whole Lu family will be hers. She doesn't even want to be my sister-in-law. Do you think she cares about your money?" Lu Chongshan was almost angered into spitting blood. "You rascal, are you forcing me to use family law? It's really annoying, every time I can't win, you resort to family law." Lu Jingli weakly muttered. Seeing both of his sons avoiding the issue, Lu Chongshan was really infuriated. He was about to erupt into a new round of anger. Suddenly, he felt something soft patting his back. Turning his head, he saw little Bun gently patting his back with small hands, as if comforting him not to get angry, so as not to harm his health. With this god-tier extinguisher out, was there any fire that couldn't be put out? Immediately, Lu Chongshan felt relaxed all over, as if he had taken a miraculous pill. His tone became soft and gentle. "Good child, does Grandpa's heart ache a bit?" Lu Jingli looked at the indifferent attitude his dad had towards his grandson, feeling a bit bitter. "I say, Dad, what's with your logic? If little sis-in-law just says, 'Yes I do,' to my brother, the whole Lu family is hers. She doesn't even want to be my sister-in-law. Do you think she cares about your money?" Lu Chongshan snorted. "Wait until the day you get married, and give me a granddaughter or grandson to lick, then come and talk to me about your status." Lu Jingli rolled his eyes. "Goodbye, I'll continue staying at the bottom." The cost of this promotion and status was too high. At this moment, a sudden ringtone interrupted the scene. Ningxi hurriedly took out her phone from her bag and saw it was a call from Xiaotao. At this moment, she unintentionally glanced at the time on her phone and realized that she was already half an hour late. Ningxi lowered her voice to answer the call. "Hello, Xiaotao. Hey, Sister Shi, why haven't you arrived yet? The shoot has already started, and the director is urging. I went to your room to find you, but no one opened the door. Where did you go?" I had some urgent matters to deal with. I'm still in the eastern suburbs. It'll take me at least an hour to rush over. Can you help me apologize and explain to the director? After I finish here, I'll go straight to the set." After hanging up the phone, Ningxi could only stand up and say goodbye. "Thank you both for your hospitality. I have to go to work today, so I'll take my leave." After saying this, Ningxi looked at the little Bun on the opposite side with a reluctant expression. Seeing Ningxi about to leave, Madame Lu looked anxiously at old Master Lu, while old Master Lu remained silent with a dark expression. Lu Tingxiao stood up, walked directly to little Bun, lifted him from the chair, and then walked to Ningxi's side before letting him down. "Go and see off Auntie Xiaoxi." Little Bun nodded heavily and took Ningxi's hand. Ningxi gratefully glanced at Lu Tingxiao and then followed little Bun as they walked towards the entrance of the courtyard. Lu Chongshan was about to stand up but was stopped by Madame Lu, who shook her head. "Forget it, it's just seeing her off." Lu Chongshan, with a stern face, ultimately compromised. Ningxi, holding little Bun's hand, walked slowly along a not-so-long cobblestone path, taking a full 10 minutes to reach the entrance gate. Ningxi had thought of countless comforting words for little Bun along the way, but at this moment, she couldn't utter a single word. Little Bun kept his head low, refusing to look up. After a while, he took out the writing board he carried with him and earnestly began to write. After finishing, little Bun lifted the writing board to show Ningxi. It was a carefully written paragraph. Tagore once said, "If you love her, let your love surround her like sunshine and give her freedom." After reading this sentence, Ningxi was momentarily stunned, and then the originally sad atmosphere was completely dispersed. She couldn't help but laugh and said, "Baby, you actually know Tagore. Where did you learn this quote?" After saying this, Ningxi squatted down and tightly hugged little Bun, full of warmth. "Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear." To be honest, she never expected little Bun to show her such a quote. It truly touched her and made her feel heartbroken. As she hugged little Bun reluctantly, not willing to let go, Ningxi's peripheral vision suddenly caught sight of a familiar figure gradually approaching them from behind. Ningxi quickly kissed little Bun twice, promising to find a way to visit him whenever possible, then reluctantly released him and ran away. Lu Tingxiao watched the girl disappear quickly, and there seemed to be a hint of helplessness in his eyes. Behind him, Lu Jingli chuckled, "Brother, little Shishi ran like a mutant rabbit. So fast." After speaking, he glanced at little Bun and sighed, "Everyone is driven to despair. Now I understand. Even a kiss from little Bun can't solve everything. If there's something a kiss can't solve, then 2 kisses. So, brother, why don't you just let little Bun use this move directly to make mom and dad change their minds, solving the biggest problem between you and little Shishi?" "This is not the biggest problem between her and me," Lu Tingxiao said with a cold tone. Moreover, he knew that the proposal last night for Ningxi to resign and become little Bun's private tutor was the utmost compromise old Master Lu could make at the moment. But in the end, his goal was achieved. After witnessing her influence on little Bun, old Master Lu would definitely not act against Ningxi. Not long after Ningxi left, Lu Chongshan called both of his sons to the study. "For the sake of little Bun, I won't pursue what happened last night, but there must never be a next time. Dad, why make things so complicated? Just let my brother marry her, and everything will be resolved. Wouldn't that be great?" Lu Chongshan, unusual for not scolding Lu Jingli, sighed and said, "Second, if today's incident involved you, I might have agreed to your marriage with her." Lu Jingli shivered, "Dad, please don't make such a scary assumption, okay?" It was like attracting hatred for him. Shortly after Ningxi left, Lu Chongshan summoned both his sons to the study. "For the sake of little Bun, I won't pursue what happened last night, but there must never be a next time. Dad, why make things so complicated? Just let my brother marry her, and everything will be resolved. Wouldn't that be great?" Lu Chongshan, unusual for not scolding Lu Jingli, sighed and said, "Second, if today's incident involved you, I might have agreed to your marriage with her." Lu Jingli shivered, "Dad, please don't make such a scary assumption, okay?" It was like attracting hatred for him.